Right now, your child is probably navigating social connections in ways you never did at their age. And here's the thing that keeps many parents up at night. They're doing it largely unsupervised, in spaces where the rules are unclear and the consequences can feel pretty real. The average kid today spends more time building relationships online than any generation before them. Some of those connections are genuine and meaningful. Others? They're setting patterns that could follow them into adulthood, for better or worse. Most parents think the solution is simple. Either you keep them off screens entirely, or you let them figure it out themselves. But neither approach actually works. The first one's unrealistic in today's world, and the second one leaves kids vulnerable to forming habits and friendships that might not serve them well. What if I told you there's a middle path? Not one that requires you to be your kid's friend or constantly breathing down their neck, but one that actually teaches them how to build real connection, the kind that makes them feel good about themselves while navigating the messy parts of online interaction. The problem starts with something most people overlook. Kids aren't getting rejected or hurt by technology itself. They're getting hurt by other people through technology. And that's a critical distinction because it means the issue isn't the phone or the app. It's about social skills, emotional awareness, and understanding how to handle conflict or exclusion when it happens in a digital space where everything feels permanent. Here's what's happening underneath the surface. When a kid gets a message from a friend, their brain releases dopamine. When that message is positive, they feel connected and valued. But when they're left on read, or when they see their peers posting without them, or when a conversation goes sideways, that dopamine drops. Hard. And because they're still developing their ability to regulate emotions, the impact feels massive. Add to that the fact that online interaction lacks tone of voice, facial expressions, and all the nonverbal cues that help us understand each other in person. A joke that would land perfectly face-to-face can read as mean. A simple question can seem like an attack. Misunderstandings multiply, and kids often don't have the language or confidence to repair those breaks. Now, here's where most advice falls apart. Parents here teach digital literacy and think that means teaching kids how to spot scams or set privacy settings. Those things matter, but they're not actually helping kids build better relationships. It's like teaching someone the rules of the road without teaching them how to communicate with other drivers. Real relationship health online starts with something much more fundamental, helping kids understand who they are and what they actually value in friendship. Think about what makes a good friend in person. Someone who listens. Someone who doesn't talk behind your back. Someone who's there when things are hard. Someone who makes you laugh. Someone who respects your boundaries. These qualities don't change just because the conversation is happening through a screen. The problem is that online, it's really easy to perform a version of yourself instead of being yourself. Kids will curate a persona. They'll say things they don't actually mean. They'll agree to plans they don't actually want to do because saying no feels too risky. And they'll stay in friendships that drain them because breaking away feels like abandonment. What you're looking for as a parent is a way to help them pause and ask some crucial questions. Do I feel better or worse after talking to this person? Do I trust them? Can I be honest with them about what I'm really thinking? Do they make me feel included, or do I always feel like I'm on the outside looking in? These questions matter more than anything else because they're the foundation of healthy relationships, online or otherwise. Here's a practical starting point. Instead of interrogating your kid about who they're talking to and what they're saying, which shuts down conversation, try asking them to tell you about the people they're connecting with. Not in a suspicious way, but with genuine curiosity. What do they like about this person? What do they have in common? Have they ever had a real conflict with this person, and how did they handle it? These conversations do something really important. They help kids externalize their thinking. They force them to actually examine the relationship instead of just drifting through it. And they give you real information about whether they're building healthy connections or just accumulating followers and feeling lonely. The next piece is helping them understand that conflict and misunderstanding are normal, even necessary, and that they can survive them. This is huge. Most kids think that if there's any friction in a friendship, that friendship is over. So they either avoid saying anything real, or they blow things up and ghost the person entirely. If you find out there's been a misunderstanding or a hurt feeling, and you will, resist the urge to fix it for them. Instead, walk them through how they might address it. What do you think happened from their perspective? Do you think they meant it that way? What would you want them to do if the situation were reversed? This teaches them that conflict has nuance and that most things can be repaired if you approach them with curiosity instead of defensiveness. The third element, and this is where a lot of parents get stuck, is modeling what healthy online interaction actually looks like. If you're constantly on your phone, comparing yourself to others, or venting about people publicly, your kid is absorbing that as normal. But if they see you having actual conversations offline, if they notice you're selective about what you share, if they hear you talk about taking breaks from social media, you're showing them a different way. This is also the moment where I want to say something that might feel counterintuitive. The goal isn't to prevent your kid from ever experiencing hurt online. That's impossible, and honestly, it would do them a disservice. The goal is to help them develop resilience and the skills to process that hurt in a healthy way. If you're interested in learning more about how to guide your kids through these digital spaces safely and thoughtfully, this channel is diving deeper into parenting in the digital age every week. We're looking at not just the risks, but how to actually build capability and confidence in your kids. So if you want to stay in the conversation about this stuff, subscribing would probably make sense. Now, let's talk about something else that's usually missing from this conversation. Loneliness online is weird because it's visible. If a kid is sitting alone at lunch, teachers usually notice. But if they're scrolling through feeds watching everyone else's highlights while sitting in their room, no one notices. And that combination, being around people digitally but feeling isolated, is one of the more painful experiences kids report. The antidote to this isn't more screen time or more followers. It's actual, in-person connection. But here's the catch. Many kids have lost confidence in face-to-face interaction because they've spent so much time in low-stakes digital communication. They're not sure how to have a conversation without emojis. They're anxious about silences. They've gotten used to being able to edit their words before sending them. So one thing you can do is deliberately create opportunities for actual interaction. This doesn't need to be complicated. It could be a gaming session where they're actually talking to someone in person, or a sport, or art class, or honestly just time with family where phones are genuinely off the table. These experiences rebuild their confidence in unfiltered, real-time communication. And that confidence carries over into how they handle their online relationships too. There's also something important about helping kids understand the difference between connection and engagement. Engagement is what the algorithms are designed to generate. It's likes, comments, shares, notifications. Connection is something entirely different. It's the feeling you get when someone really understands you, or when you've made someone laugh, or when you've helped someone through something hard. Many kids are chasing engagement because it feels like connection. They're posting things specifically to get reactions. They're monitoring their metrics. They're comparing their engagement to their friends' engagement. And in the process, they're not actually connecting with anyone. They're performing for an audience. When you ask your kid about their online relationships, listen for how much of their conversation is about engagement metrics versus about actual interactions. The shift from one to the other is a sign that they're starting to understand what really matters. Now, here's something else that's probably happening and that most parents underestimate. Peer dynamics that were challenging before have gotten more intense online. A conflict between friends at school used to end when school ended. Now it continues in group chats. Social hierarchies that used to shift are permanently documented and reshared. Exclusion used to mean being left out at lunch. Now it means being left out of a group chat and seeing photos of what everyone did without you. This means that the social capital kids worry about is higher stakes than it used to be, and their nervous system is responding accordingly. They're more anxious, more reactive, more hypervigilant about their social position. Part of helping them develop healthy relationships is helping them build immunity to some of this stuff. Not by ignoring it, but by developing a strong enough sense of self that their worth isn't completely determined by their social status online. This is genuinely hard to do as an adult, and kids are expected to figure it out while their brains are still developing judgment and emotional regulation. You can help by pointing out when they're making decisions based on fear instead of values. You said you didn't want to go to that thing, but you're worried people will think you're lame if you don't. What would happen if you just didn't go? Sometimes they'll decide it matters enough that they'll go anyway. But sometimes they'll realize the anxiety was bigger than the actual consequence, and that's a powerful lesson. The last piece I want to touch on is the role of boundaries and what they actually look like for kids in digital spaces. Many kids think boundaries are mean or isolating. They think if they don't respond immediately to a message, they're being rude. They think if they don't like someone's photo, they're not being a good friend. They think if they're not available all the time, they'll be forgotten. These beliefs are exhausting, and they're usually not even true. Real friends understand that you have a life outside of digital connection. Real friends aren't offended by response times or by you not engaging with every single thing they post. Helping your kids set boundaries, like not having notifications on during certain times, or not feeling obligated to text back immediately, or deciding which platforms they're actually on and which ones they're going to skip. This is actually a form of relationship care. It means they're not burning out. It means they're not performing when they don't have energy. It means they can show up more authentically when they're actually present. So here's what I want to leave you with. The shift toward helping kids build healthy online relationships isn't about restricting their access or monitoring every move. It's about helping them understand themselves well enough to know what they actually need from a friendship, brave enough to be honest with the people in their life, and resilient enough to handle it when things get messy. This is a skill set that will serve them in every relationship they ever have. And it starts now with you asking thoughtful questions, modeling what healthy connection looks like, and trusting them to figure it out with your guidance rather than your control. What's one conversation you could have with your kid this week about the people they're connecting with? Drop it in the comments. I'd actually like to hear what opens up for you.